Welcome to Friday Beyond Spotlights. I'm Patrick Tsang. I'm a local Hong Kong businessman, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. Today, we're very pleased to have with us Mr. Stephon Marbury, former NBA and CBA player, former head coach of the CBA Beijing Royal Fighters, entrepreneur and philanthropist. As he goes by with his nickname of Starberry, the two-time All-Star player and two-time member of the All-NBA team has built his basketball legacy in China by winning 3 championships for the city of Beijing. He has been awarded honorary citizenship in Beijing. Stephon is passionate about youth development, cultural exchange, and sports charity engagement. Welcome to Friday Beyond Spotlight.
Thanks for having me.
You came to Hong Kong to promote basketball and to help the youth and community. You're a role model for millions of Chinese ballers and youths, and you're involved in basketball training camps also. A Hong Kong basketball player may be drafted by the NBA this year. How do you see the potential talent in Hong Kong?
Well, it's an opportunity to grow. It's a small place like where I'm from, in Coney Island. It's an island. And being on the island, you work hard, you fight, you scrap to get to where you want to get to. And I think, for all basketball players, the way how the game is changing, it's an opportunity for everybody to rise, and it would be great to see somebody rise from out of Hong Kong.
For the time you've been to Hong Kong, do you feel the vibrancy of the city already?
Of course. I mean, the vibe is like a New York kind of vibe. As I said, coming from an island where I come from in Coney Island, in New York City, being a native kid who played basketball all throughout the world, but playing in the Mecca in New York, that's a place where I hone in and embrace deeply. And to be able to be here and feel that same type of energy here in Hong Kong is really good.
NBA China has a massive following, and it's worth $5 billion US. Basketball is the largest spectator sport in China now, with an audience of over 1 billion people. China is the biggest market in the world. Why is basketball so popular, and what is the secret behind this market growth?
I think the opportunity to be able to use a basketball is so much easier than playing like football. You just get a ball and there's 2 hoops. And the passion that the fans have is it's unexplainable in some words, especially for me playing inside of Wukesong, where they've had the Olympics in 2008. So to be able to be there, you can see the love and the passion from the fans of them just watching the game. But then when you get on the court with them, you can see the love that they have from putting the ball inside the hoop, which everyone loves to do.
And you must be very proud to be part of this growth.
Of course. I mean, as I said, as you mentioned, winning 3 championships in Beijing was, now when I look back at it, it was amazing for the people of Beijing. They got a chance to experience what it really feels like to win at the highest level. And the teams that we beat really good teams that have won championships before. So for us, the Beijing people who experienced that amazing roller coaster of winning the championship, then losing the championship, then winning 2 back-to-back, it's pretty cool to see.
And you've taken the game to all parts of China, right?
Yes. I mean, I've been so many different places: Liaoning, Jilin, Dongbei, the South, Guangdong, Shenzhen. So having these experiences going all over, it gives you an opportunity to allow yourself to be in front of a large amount of different people and different people who love the game in different ways.
How do you see the sports industry in China, especially the CBA, becoming one of the country's soft powers or conduit for cultural relations?
Well, basketball, that sphere allows you to be able to connect with. Here I am speaking with you in Hong Kong. I'm from New York and Brooklyn. It does that. It connects. The connectivity of basketball, it brings people together all over the world. And, with the fan base and the love of the game, with NBA China growing and the CBA growing, basketball it's a language. It's a language that everyone relates to. Everybody can speak the same language.
Now, Steph, you're known for being a philanthropist. The Starberry Foundation helps charities, helps education, and helping the less fortunate youths. You even have a high quality, affordable sneaker that is accessible to the underprivileged children. Do you think your influence will have a positive ripple effect for future generations?
That's the goal. You know, the goal is to be able to allow people to understand your experiences. My experiences, I come from the projects. I grew up in low-income housing. Through basketball, I was able to guide my way through my family's guidance and through, you know, my vision of playing the game to get to be able to play basketball at an elite level. To be able to provide for my family, to be able to create opportunities, to create a brand that, you know, parents were able to spend $14.98 for shoes and clothes. To be able to give these people these opportunities, you know, it meant a lot to me because I was one of those kids. I was a family of 7, and my mom, you know, was trying to make ends meet to be able to provide for her children. So for me to be able to create that opportunity for other people through allowing kids to feel like, you know, I can wear those shoes as well. I don't have to, you know, spend $100, $150 to buy a pair of shoes to be cool. I could buy a pair for $14.98 and be able to have the same stylish clothes that everyone else has. One of the things that I did in my neighborhood during the time period where, you know, depression was running rampant, you know, where I'm from, I opened up a barbershop. In my barbershop, you know, we paid for everyone to get a haircut for free for 2 years. So anybody who wanted to get a haircut, you know, we hired, you know, 6 barbers, and we basically allowed people to be able to go inside, take their kids to get a free haircut. Because, you know, when you get a haircut, it's a sense of energy that changes. You look good, you feel good, you know, and that can get you on your way. So we were trying to help from a mental state, you know, and getting people to be able to have that opportunity to be able to do that and for them to provide that for their children.
Steph, as you were saying, mental health is a very important issue, and clearly through sports we can train today's youth to be more mentally aware and to have more capacity to deal with failures as well as to accept success. Any stories to share?
You know, failure is a great teacher. It teaches you about yourself. It teaches you, you know, what you will do and what you won't do, what measures you will take to go where you say you want to go. It creates opportunities within yourself so that you're constantly challenging yourself to grow and to be better. You know, for me, you know, I fell on hard times playing during my end days in the NBA, which led me to go to China. I was depressed. You know, my dad had passed away. My basketball career, it wasn't really going as well as I would have liked playing in the NBA. And then I got the opportunity to go to China. You know, when I came to China during that time, I had no idea that I would end up being in China and staying in China for 14 years now. When I first went in 2009, and during that time, you know, I was able to basically leave everything that was going on in America on the bad, from a bad perspective, and create a completely different perspective. And you know, during that time, I was being mentally challenged, and I was going through, you know, as I said, going through depression. But as I continued to move forward and stay positive and trust in my faith and trust in, you know, doing things the right way, things panned out and went in a positive direction.
So the community in China,
yes,
or the basketball fan community,
yes,
also helped you out?
Yes, big time. I mean, the love that they gave me when I came to China, when I first landed, it was like 5,000 people at the airport, and I was like, who are all of these people here for? And the guy who I came to China with, he was like, they're here for you. You know, so to go from that, you know, to go from America where I was being ridiculed, I was being spoken of in a bad light, you know, and then to be able to go someplace and to receive positive light, you know, it was uplifting. And one of the reasons why I stayed in China, you know, for 9 years playing and 4 years coaching, you know, so my love for the country, it grew because of what they did for me.
Steph, how would you advise motivate young people, especially those who want to pursue sports as a professional career?
I think for myself, what I would do is share my experiences and what I did growing up. You know, as a kid, we loved basketball, working hard to try to inspire towards reaching a goal. Sharing the experiences of the hard work and the efforts that is needed in order to be able to play basketball, along with the people who love basketball and our coaches who played and our coaches who share the same wealth of knowledge that they've obtained from playing the sport. And also creating environments for the kids to be able to play, you know, creating competitive opportunities for them to engage into so that they can, you know, measure, you know, and see where they are and playing against the kids who they will play against to see if they measure up towards being one of the best and then going further.
Well, we have a group of neighborhood kids at a court nearby. Would you be open to take a look?
Of course.
Let's go.
Let's go. You shoot and you rebound the basketball 1 minute. You know, so every day that you practice, you're trying to get better the next day, but you're trying to build consistency. If you can be consistent when you get on the court, it's like when you shoot the basketball 10 times, you want to at least try to make it 6 out of 10 times.
Steph, thank you for your time. Everyone, thanks for coming. I hope you had a great time.
Yes, definitely. Let's bring it in. On 3, Hong Kong. 1, 2, 3.
Hong Kong! Welcome back to Friday Beyond Spotlights. We have with us today Stephon Marbury, a former NBA, CBA player and former head coach of the CBA Beijing Royal Fighters, entrepreneur and philanthropist. In this show and tell segment, Stephon will show us an item that has a special meaning in shaping him into who he is today. So Steph, what are you going to show us today?
Well, today I have my medal, which is it was given to me by the government of Beijing. It's honorary citizen. This medal means a lot because it shows, you know, going from one place to another place and receiving high honor for doing something that I love to do, but contributing my spirit to the city and affecting people in a positive light through basketball. So, you know, this medal, it means a lot, not only because it's from the government, but also because my teammates, they were so happy and so proud to know that I was not only receiving this, but they know that I feel this way.
This is big. This is rare and uneasy to get. So you must be very proud.
Yes, I am. I'm very proud, and I'm very honored that I was elected to have this.
So Steph, tell us more about your background. I understand you grew up in the streets of Coney Island in New York and in Brooklyn, and it was tough.
Yeah.
Right? It was tough because it was surrounded by perhaps drugs or gangs. How did you overcome those obstacles?
I was guided by my brothers and my sisters, of course, my mom and my dad. You know, coming from a big family in the projects, you know, a lot of people know who you are. So all of the positive people who see what it is that you're doing and trying to do something for your life, they will all steer you in the right direction. So I had a lot of people that were in my life to help push me to be able to receive things like this.
Steph, you're basketball protege at a very young age, and you had amazing talent. You're like a rock star, and everyone knew you. How did you handle that? How did you deal with this stardom?
Well, as I said, I had my family. So, you know, I had 2 twin sisters that are fraternal. I know you have twins as well. I had 2 sisters that made sure that I never got the big head. And if I thought to have a big head and to think anything different than what I was supposed to be thinking and being positive, they will be the ones that smack me upside my head to make sure that I continue to stay on the path.
Besides your twin sisters, any other mentor that had a profound effect on you?
Yeah, my brothers, my dad. My dad was he was a disciplinary, was in the army, so, strict militant style ways of how he did things, not even knowing that was, at a young age, you don't know that this is the way how things go from the military standard and perspective of how things are supposed to be done. But, my father just making sure that we did what we were supposed to do, staying in compliance with the rules of how to treat people, living by the golden rule and treating people the way you want to be treated. So, I've had coaches, my high school coach. I had a neighborhood coach who taught my oldest brothers, who taught me. So it was a lot of people who put a lot of influence in me and doing things the right way.
Steph, you were at top of your game in NBA, but then you ran into some controversies, and that was a low point in your life. How did you rebound from that and restart your career in China?
Well, when I got the opportunity to go to China, first I was like, the only thing that I really knew about China was the Great Wall and Yao Ming. I knew about Yao because he had came to the NBA. So when I was offered this opportunity, I had to really think about it. I was like, I need some time to think about it. And I was like, wow, it's like 13 hours away. It was far. So, but I was literally going through this metamorphosis change in my life that, was needed. It was coming, and I didn't know that it was coming, and it was needed. As I speak today, telling you the story. So when I was going through this process, I was really down, and basketball wasn't even something that I wanted to do. I was really at a low point in my life where, I didn't want to be alive from how I was feeling. That's how I was feeling and what was going on.
So it was very tough.
It was a tough time. As I said, I was dealing with, I had lost my aunt 1 week, then I lost my coach, then I lost my father, and then my mom checked into the hospital. So I was experiencing real life experiences of what the heart was feeling as far as how to cope and deal with this new way of how I have to live during this time, along with basketball not going well. So it was a lot of different things going on.
But China is thousands of miles away. It's different culture, different language.
Everything was different. So when I land in China, all of the barriers I faced, but even through those barriers, basketball, as I said, it speaks a language. It was able to pick me up back off of my feet, get me back in the mood and the mind frame to want to be on the basketball court to play. I didn't even want to play anymore. I was going to retire. I was literally thinking about retiring from basketball. I called my mom. I told her I don't want to play no more. She said, wait, this doesn't make sense. Think about it. Pray about it before you make this type of decision. And I was like, I'm just over it because of dealing with all of what I was dealing with. So then I get to China, and when I told my mom that I was going to go to China, she was like, China, that's far. She was like, but God is everywhere, so I'm okay with you going wherever you feel like you want to go. So when I get there and go through the whole experience of being in China, playing basketball, experiencing a new culture and how the game was played, the way how people viewed the game, having this experience and learning something new about different people, it started to open my mind. It started to open my mind differently.
Steph, you're considered a living legend to many fans in China. You became the first foreign player in history to be granted permanent residency in China. How did China and Chinese culture help to shape you?
Well, the peace inside of the spirit and the way how the culture takes care of each other, how the elderly take care of the baby, the grandbaby, how gathering for food and enjoying the life together, that affected me greatly. Coming from America, that's the same embodiment of what we carry in our family. So we share some of the same ways and values and culture in family, and I think that that played a big part because my friends became my brothers. and my sisters in China, and for us to call each other that, and for us to be able to share that type of love and to be called that in Chinese culture is pretty cool. It's pretty newbie.
Steph, what legacy would you like to leave behind?
I want to be remembered as the person that created change. I created change and I made people think differently from what they thought, to move in a positive direction, to move in an onward and upward motion, to be able to allow their lives to propel in a way that they envision. I think it's important to always create hope and create awareness of what people are aware of, what people are capable of doing. You know, we're innate human beings that can do so many things, the things that we put our minds to.
To bring change to the community around you.
Exactly, giving kids that opportunity of them believing and having faith that they can do it by never giving up.
So if you were to choose again, I guess you would make the same decision, right? To leave the U.S. and come to China, or?
No, I wouldn't change.
Now we've come to our rapid fire segment where we get up close and personal with our guests. So Steph, I will ask you a series of questions with no right or wrong answers. Just simply say whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What do you do to relax?
Netflix.
What's your favorite comfort food?
Soul food, hot pot, hobo.
Okay, your first job?
Barbershop, sweeping up the hair.
What would you become if you're not a professional basketball player?
Lawyer.
Who do you admire?
My mom.
What's your favorite place in China?
Beijing.
Favorite place in Hong Kong?
Right here.
Favorite basketball player?
Magic Johnson.
Steph, what's your proudest moment?
Being able to move my mom from out of Coney Island.
Biggest misconception about you?
I'm selfish.
What's the nicest thing someone has said to you?
You've done things for me that people that love me never did for me before.
Last thing you searched online?
The menu from one of the restaurants that I was there.
Excellent. What would be the title of your autobiography?
Read my real story and then judge me.
Qualities you admire most about your parents?
Loving.
What's your biggest fear?
God.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Don't be too serious.
If you can have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would that be?
Nelson Mandela.
If you can say thank you to someone, dead or alive right now, who would that person be?
My brother, he just passed away not too long ago.
Thank you, Steph.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us at Friday Beyond Spotlights. We'll see you next time.